Okay, we're going to another episode of On the Wrist from Off the Cuff. Today we'll be featuring another Haveston strap from their service series, the Sabre A2, and this is the enhanced version, which I actually picked up via Holben's Fine Watch Bands. Please do check them out. I'll leave a link down in the description. Essentially, of course, I do have this beautifully paired to my Neo Vintage JDM Prospex Flight Master SB DS001. And guys, these A2 straps are great because they are, of course, single pass, and they do have the upgrades when you get the enhanced version, where you can expect those leather keepers to include a sliding keeper, and with that, of course, reinforced holes as well as the end of the tail there. Very nicely done. And since it is the A2, meaning that it's single pass, you're not going to be adding a whole lot of extra thickness there. And as you might have noticed, hey, we're going to kick this off a little bit differently. We're going to really just get into the spirit about, what really makes the brand Haveston so enjoyable for me. And one of those things is that, yes, I am prior active duty military. I served in the United States Marine Corps, and I have to say their designs really resonate with me in terms of just being an authentic piece of kit that just really feeds that industrial nature, of course, of, when you think about aircraft, when you think about unit patches, everything like that. So we're not only just going to check out this piece and how it wears on the wrist here at a tabletop perspective, we're actually going to take this thing on the road, and we're going to go ahead and showcase this bad boy in a couple of different locations, just so you guys can really get an idea of what makes this piece so special. But of course, we have to get the patented shots on the wrist where, hey, I don't want there to be a lot of perspective distortion, so I keep my 7.5-inch wrist nice and low. And you can see this drapes just beautifully, very comfortably, especially with Haveston's particular layout, where they actually shorten the strap so you're not going to necessarily need to fold it back over. And then with that adjustable keeper, one of the nice things is you're going to be able to just have that little tail sticking out there, and I think it looks absolutely great. You can run the chronograph. Everything just seems very functional, and it's really that it's getting that function, and it's turning it into something that is actually a form factor. So what I did is we made it out, of course, being local in the San Diego area, we had to check out the USS Midway Museum to really just tell the story of these types of straps within Haveston's service series. So first of all, big shout out, of course, to the crew of the USS Midway, guys. So when you take a look at the different of paint schemes and unit patches, it all just really flows. Check out that beautiful monochromatic look with, of course, that nice pop of yellow, and that does tie into this particular timepiece, but it also ties into a lot of other things. And here I am just enjoying being on the flight deck without being in uniform, which is always awesome and a real treat as a veteran. So of course, there's the beautiful layout and scenery there with the background, just gorgeous. And hey, we work in a little wrist roll. No matter where you are on the flight deck, this thing just flows and fits in. There's so much gray on, when you're on something like this, but there are also so many pops of color when it comes to those themes. And of course, it is nice to see those marine chronometers still ticking away really beautifully, keeping time while you are on ship. Now, again, as you can see, there's going to be pops of color, whether they be flags or different types of insignia, and it is something that really plays well here. So this really just gives you that industrial look and that really nice pedigree in terms of their inspirations for the Sabre, of course inspired by that iconic black and yellow stripe scheme adopted from the pioneering days of jet fighter development in the early 1950s. So, whether you're just cruising around in, a vintage floral Hawaiian shirt and enjoying the scenery. I have to say it was really nice to have this companion with me that just really tied everything together in terms of the theme of the watch. So you can see, even in the busyness and cluttered nature of a cockpit, it's just going to be beautifully functional there. Very, very legible, even with all of the sunlight reflecting right off of it. Somehow that extremely matte dial just remains quite legible, even with all of the different scales and information. And you can see it's a very sparse place to be when it comes to the interior of these aircraft. Of course, they have to be light on their feet. They're going to be carrying a lot of troops and gear, but this flight deck is just so pristine and beautifully appointed. So if you guys do ever get a chance to check out the USS Midway, I definitely advise it. But of course, another fine feature of having your watch on a NATO strap, of course, is you're able to strap it on. Even if it's not on your wrist, we can hang it here and you guys can just see everything flows. It just seems like a piece of kit, and I really do enjoy that. Here's an F-14, really made popular, of course, by the Top Gun series. And for me, as a low altitude air defense gunner, it was nice to see, of course, even some nice air-to-air action, and you know, everything just fit. And again, you go back to the aesthetic here. These are all functional things, all these pops of color. It's not to look cool, but it just kind of ends up looking really, really great, even though they're really just safety oriented. Here's an F4. And I think it just pairs so wonderfully, guys. Again, just timeless colorways. You think of something really that timeless Americana, and it just ties in, even down to the deck. Check out the yellow stripe on the deck, just tying right in to the yellow stripe there. And of course, old technology with a lot of colors, again, over muted gray tones, and it just really brings you back. Looking out the portholes here. Of course, this is an Magenta-inspired video, but it is nice to take a look out there at that beautiful water. And here we go again. Just look at this piece. Just breathe that in. It's really just a handsome piece that I love, and I think it was kind of made for that. Everything just fits together. Somehow the contrast there, the colors, the function forward, form factor really is a theme that I feel like Haveston just executed so very well. And again, huge shout out to holbensfinewatchbrands.com for supplying this particular strap, guys. So with that said, let me know what you all think in the comments below. If you like the video, please do it like, and if you haven't already, please subscribe for more content just like this. Thanks, guys.